Here's your Truman Lake fishing report for the end of October and beginning of November, brought to you by Tackle HD and presented by Fish30's Dave McCormick.
Well, welcome back. It's another Truman Lake fishing report. Yep. It's getting to be that time too, gang. Just that time. So, last weekend it was so windy. It killed our batteries. We ended up having some kind of failure in the battery world and didn't make it back in. So be it. It blew 30 miles an hour. But what I did notice while I was out, the first 3 fish we caught were all suspended fish. So Truman has a side of it in the fall where you get half the fish that go to the bank and are very active and will bite your jig or tube or beaver or spinnerbait or crankbait down a laydown or some other kind of something hanging off the bank. The other fish you'll find suspend out in the middle of the pocket. So you enter a creek, and as you work your way back, you start noticing big hardwoods and big cedar trees out in the middle. And instead of going right around them onto the bank, I want you to focus on them for a little bit because they can be the answer. Pull that bait, let it be a spinnerbait or a crankbait through that tree, or even flip a beaver, brush hog, or a big worm into that tree. But we're going to talk about my favorites. I just grabbed a few of them. I didn't pay much attention to the brands of them. I just brought them based on their color, size, and blade, because that's really, really, really what matters, in my opinion. So we'll talk about a Missouri Special, the Ozark Flash, and a chartreuse and white, or a white or straight all chartreuse is one of our favorites. There's no doubt. When the water's warm, we'll say 55 or above, this is definitely something we throw here. Even if the water's clear and we're at Table Rock, we're still gonna throw that. So if the water is clear and it's warm, and then we haven't got that, and we're still moving the spinnerbait at a fast rate, that's, to me, is more about what spinnerbait fishing is. I'll break it down into speeds. This is another fast one. 2 willow blades, fairly heavy head. That's a 3/4 ounce, kind of a pinkish color. It's one of our Table Rock colors. But there again, it's for moving, much like this bait. The little willows allow you to really move that bait along, makes the fish react. Speed has everything. Now, this last weekend I wasn't sure. I was somewhere in between. So that combination right there I threw. It throbs a little more than the double willow, and you can't move it as fast. So, but we're back out in the middle of the creeks, and we're cedar or hardwood. As we're going around, and we're continually making a cast to that tree, trying to get our spinnerbait down 2 or 3 feet, not necessarily trying to get very deep into the tree. They're up suspended in the top of it, using the warmth from the tree itself, getting sun, and waiting for their meal to come by and get it. So let's imagine the water got cold, though. Let's say it got under 50. And it's going to happen here eventually. We just haven't had quite enough cold. I want you to then try, say you get around 49, 48. I want you to go to a round blade. Change your blade setups. The spinnerbait won't come through the water near as fast, and it throbs. And I want you to try, obviously, right up on the bank, bring it down next to the laydowns, and also out there in the top of those trees. Sometimes that round blade calls them from a further distance. So one of my all-time favorites, the Old Man's. Can't hardly get them anywhere, but that Old Man spinnerbait, it does some work too. So 4, 5, 6 models. Remember, your blade judges your speed. And some days, that's the difference between getting a bite or not getting a bite, especially when it's warmer. Sometimes they won't have nothing to do with something that's going slow. You'd be winding that spinnerbait wondering why he won't get it. Well, a couple times I want you to throw it out and only keep it about this far under the surface and bring it along. And sometimes that's the difference. It's always the difference. The speed of the spinnerbait has everything to do with how many bites you get. Blade combination controls the speed. So get out, give it some try, take a kid fishing. Who doesn't like winding the old spinner bug? I know I do. Take them fishing, they're gonna love it. Till next time, thanks for watching.